People are waiting. That's a good sign.
Yes, good sign, right?
It's a good sign.
Heather Thomas. Okay.
Hey.
Heather's a lot. Yay! Right. Okay. Right. Right. Everyone, just for this guest, we just need to keep it quiet because otherwise we won't hear them and they won't hear us.
Yeah, I might turn the speaker up just a little bit.
Heather.
Can you hear us, Heather? Oh, we can't hear you. Right.
Hold on.
Okay, 1 second. We're just gonna a little bit more tech.
Okay.
Aha! Yay!
Lovely.
Yes. Henry was watching us on TV this morning. No, he's like, nah, Dad. Nah, it's all right. You got this.
Okay, cool. Right, I think. Is that good? So it's like, yeah, just you understand. Okay, we are here. And I can hear you, we can see you. So we've got a bit of a setup here, Heather. So we're looking at you over here on the TV, but you're looking at us from behind us looking at you over TV. And behind that, you've got an audience in person and online. That's the context we're in. But we're here, we're with you, we're present, and we're here to learn. And we want to talk today about imposter syndrome, but before you can do that, would you like to introduce yourself to the Citizen Hub community?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Heather Thomas, and I'm in Cambridge, so not terribly far away. I'm the founder of a community interest company called Together Culture. And we're collaborative change-making specialists working to help build a regenerative economy. That's a lot of words, but effectively, we're responding to a brilliant Ipsos Mori poll from back in 2020 when the pandemic ended. And Ipsos Mori, for people who don't know, they did research trying to figure out what people think about stuff. And they did a massive global research study that showed that 9 in 10 people wanted the world to change after the pandemic. And they wanted, more than 80% of those people wanted it to move in a more sustainable and inclusive and equitable direction. Good, happy, positive change. All the stuff that you're doing at Citizen Hub, all the stuff that we're probably here talking about today. It's not, that kind of change doesn't seem to be happening at pace. When we look at the world around us and we look at the authoritarian change that seems to be happening in lots of corners. And the work that Together Culture does is kind of address, well, why? And one of the reasons from our perspective is that the system that we're asking to enable that change was built to promote a culture that is inequitable, a culture that's built on individualism, that's built on competition, and it's built on hierarchy. So we're not going to enable the change that we want to see unless we change our culture first. And all the stuff that we do as individuals to develop our self-esteem, our self-worth, and to work in community with other people. And Together Culture describes community as 2 or more people who are actively engaged in promoting one another's well-being. So that's very different than just geographic proximity. That's doing the hard work of deeply rooting our self-esteem, our trust, our belief in one another, and our belief in that change can happen. And then the economy, this is where that comes into play. The economy is the system that enables us to live in community. So we change the culture first. Our human nature, anyway. And then we work towards rebuilding the systems. That's the stuff that we're doing at Together Culture. And the story I was going to share with you today before I jump into imposter syndrome is kind of based around this big thing is happening for me this year. I'm starting my PhD, and it's taken me until the age of 50 to get there. And that's one of my imposter syndrome journeys that I was going to share with you to then maybe bridge into talking about some more top tips and just understanding where this imposter syndrome epidemic even comes from in the first place. How does that sound to you folks?
Good to me.
So it sounds wonderful for me, but I just personally want to pause because I didn't ask and I haven't seen you ages. I can't hug you. Are you okay?
I'm good. I am good. The Christmas was pretty intense. It was a period to kind of deal with all of that stuff. So I went from feeling numb to kind of feeling like myself again. And I personally, I don't moved January for sure. I mean, my fingernails are blue because it's the color of January, like very much a feel. But I like how it's slower. I like how there's a bit more time. I have really needed that, and so I've been celebrating that. It's a good time to make plans and to process things. January is, I think.
Awesome. Now you can talk about that cool stuff you were talking about before. I just wanted to make sure you're all right.
Yeah, I love that. And are you all right too? I don't want to waste too much airtime.
Yeah, no, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Thank you very much. You go. Let's talk about. I want to hear the story, and both Danny and I were nodding as you were talking. We're all in for this conversation.
I love it. So I'll probably have some questions for you to just help everybody understand
Nice.
this stuff. Because it's so universal. So the story that I was going to share. So I grew up in a working class family in upstate New York, and I loved school. I always loved studying. I always loved reading. I was that kid who liked lectures. I know it's not for everybody, but it was for me. And I ended up being the first person in my family to get accepted into a four-year university in Boston, illustrious for what it's worth, all that jazz. And I remember going home for the first break in term, and I was sat in a car with my dad, and we were waiting to pick up my stepmom. She was a nurse coming off shift, and he was asking me how school was going, and I said, I love it. I've gotten totally obsessed with taking every psychology course I possibly can. You know what, Dad? I think I want to be a child psychologist. I think that that's my goal. I think that's who I want to be, and that's the job that I want to grow into. And he immediately said, without a pause, no, you can't do that. People like us don't get to do that.
Wow.
Ooh, that was his immediate response. And that was not, my dad was not saying I didn't have the ability. That wasn't it. My dad was trying to protect me. He was trying to say, working class people don't get to do those jobs. Working class people don't get the money to be able to go all the way through school to become a doctor of anything. He just wanted me to find a path that would keep me safe, make sure I had enough money, where I didn't have to constantly fight the system to do what I wanted to do. You know, but of course, you know, that started me feeling like a bit of an imposter in my own family. The more education I had, the more I started opening my mind to bigger, deeper possibilities and what my life could be, the more different I was from my family. And that was really hard. And at the same time, you're thinking, this other world that I'm living in where people think this is possible, there was something in the back of my mind thinking, I don't belong there either, right? And so some of the things that I learned, because I still viscerally, and it puts
I'm not surprised.
feel things in my stomach,
Mm-hmm.
and I just even remember that moment with my dad. It wasn't a great one, but it was a powerful one. And some of the things that I learned were the stories that we hold in our head. In particular, the stories about our limits. Did we put them there? Or did they come from another place? So, did that story, part of it for me came from my dad, but for my dad it came from culture, right? It came from the world in which he grew up. And so what I learned was that I had to just lean into being me and try to get in touch, like try to separate the stories that are maybe coming from another place that have nothing to do with me and just tap into the story of me that makes me feel like I want to thrive. And then try to map out how to get beyond the barriers. And I guess from a together culture perspective, the message, one of the messages I'm trying to land is that it isn't just about us individually when we do that. It's about a culture change. Because we live in a society where to have a quote unquote elite, for there to be a group of people who've got all the money and have all the power and get to make all the decisions, So it's so important for our own individual mental well-being to get beyond the feeling of imposter syndrome or the limits to our self-esteem. But the thing is that when we do that, this is part of being the equitable change. Because we have the audacity to believe in ourselves and that the limits other people are placing on us are not true. We are changing culture. And when we change the culture, we will change the systems.
Ooh, come on in. Come on in.
I am
Where's
really,
your head on?
Yeah. I'm really
we have
quiet
we
on
have a
these
lot of
things.
these conversations,
We
and,
do
and
have.
Heather and I, when we get together, have a lot of the same sort of conversations, which is why I was very excited about
Yeah.
this triangular effect.
Fascinating.
Where do you even start?
So
with
for
it?
me, I think what's coming up for me is that I agree with you 100% that these self-limiting beliefs that we have are often given to us by external, I can't even speak anymore.
It's starting.
What's the word? Intrinsic. Yes, thank you. Elements and influences. And to your point, absolutely, the systems that are currently created, for example, Alex and I often talk about kind of people in power and the university train where you go to the best university, say, for example, Eton, and the people that go to Eton are often reared in a particular way where they don't feel necessarily the impact of imposter syndrome because for them it's a given. And it's a given because to some extent, it's who they know. Their dad was X, and therefore there is an opportunity for them in that role. Their uncle was the top head of X, and therefore there is an opportunity for them in that role.
Their social capital has a silver lining.
Absolutely for them, right? And therefore those people that are outside of those systems having to work doubly hard or thrice as hard in order to get the opportunity isn't necessarily something that is put on them as an individual. The system, to your point, the culture upholds that pathway for them. And so those that live or exist outside of those areas are the ones that have to do this work, whereas for some people it's a given. And I want to be really clear here. It's not that those people who are part of the nepotism, reality aren't struggling necessarily with their mental well-being, but they'll be struggling with a very different reason, i.e. I know I haven't worked as hard to get here and therefore am I going to be found out? So there's certain elements throughout their lived experience or their frame of reference which will dictate to them how they feel, I guess, from an individual point of view. That's what's coming up for me at the moment.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I think there's a guy, so I had a really interesting experience. I have a few interesting experiences a year. But last year I had a really interesting experience, 3 days in Windsor Castle, and with 20 people that from all walks of life. From, we had a principal from a university in Africa, to a director of strategy for the First Minister of Scotland, to all sorts. And there's one guy who comes to my mind, I won't say his name, but he's the 7th generation owner of this business. So to your point, he's a really cool guy, and we were having some really deep discussions, especially after a few beers on day 2, whatever. Because by the way, we were there for 3 days with one question, which is, what are your hopes and fears for the future? 3 days on that one question. And anyway, to your point, he had some really interesting, like you say, struggles about imposter syndrome, his mental well-being. He'd been through some challenges because he's got it all. You got it all, man. You got like a massive business. You just walked in. You're in. But he has similar.
Yeah, of course.
We all have. We
Yes.
all have, and that's what comes up to me when you were speaking, Heather, and then to layer on your reflection there. What do you say about Heather?
So I think it's interesting. So what is imposter syndrome? So what is it that makes imposter syndrome universal? So let me ask you folks this question. What is it, I'm making the assumption, because it is universal, that you felt imposter syndrome at some stage in your life or in your day-to-day experience. Have you ever walked into a room and felt imposter syndrome? Either of you?
Everyone just went. Make sure you on the comments on LinkedIn and Facebook, YouTube. How do you reflect on this and let's make this participatory.
Yeah, that would be great. So, what does it feel like in your body when you feel imposter syndrome?
No, mirror.
sick,
Yeah, mirror comes up,
sweaty.
doesn't it?
It's that anxiety, right? It's an anxiety of you don't belong, or what if, or am I gonna show up in my, am I gonna stumble my words like me with still
You
can't
got
bloody
to forgive
say the
yourself.
words.
We're on a
Well, we are
liveathon here.
exactly, but
You've been awake a while.
extinct whatever the word is. But you know, all these sorts of things that come up, and that whole kind of shaky, nauseous feeling. Not that I've ever felt it at all, ever.
Right. So it hits your nervous system. You feel tingly and shaky and anxious. And I've heard a lot of people say they feel small.
Mm.
Like they kind of cave
Shrinks
into
you.
themselves,
Yeah,
or they
interesting.
just kind of want to disappear in the moment. And how about any thoughts that are running through your head? Not specific, but more general. What is the fear?
Why did Alex make me do this again?
Yeah,
Second year.
I think why did Alex do this again? You're not good enough, Alex, to do this again. You ain't got the energy anymore for this sort of stuff. I think one of the things that comes up for me is about like strength. It's like, am I strong? Yeah, are you sure? Am I strong enough to do this? So it's usually that those sort of things that come
Someone
up.
else is better.
It's a
than
mirror.
me.
It's a metaphorical mirror that comes, slaps you in the face, and goes, "Oh, yo, are you sure this is for you? I don't think you can make that."
Exactly. So the feeling of imposter syndrome, the word that we hear over and over and over again is, am I enough? Am I enough? I'm nervous because what if I'm not enough? Right? And so the thing that I love doing,
Stand in
and I
front of
love
it.
words, is breaking
Rebel.
down imposter and syndrome.
Mhm.
So what is an imposter? I'm just going to give it to you just because interest with an eye in the time. An imposter, you are enough. You are enough.
Go on, Debs. We got rebels in here, you know.
Yes, I love it. I love it. But the thing is, even if we know we are enough, we all have these moments where we don't feel like we are enough, right? It's also, I think it's universal. So to your point about how people in all stations of society can feel this, it's because it's very human, right? And on one level, it's good because God knows there are enough narcissists on this planet and sociopaths, and they are not leading us in a good direction. So in some senses, humility is a very good thing. However, embodiment this idea that we're not enough and that there are limits what we're capable of doing, not helpful. Anyway, so an imposter is actually a person who pretends to be something that they're not
Mm.
for malicious intent. So when you're feeling, am I enough? It's highly unlikely that you are feeling you are not enough because you are trying to hurt somebody else. So for me, when I think of an imposter, I don't know. Do you remember the Pink Panther? This probably dates
Mhm.
me, but cartoon character,
Of course.
literally a
Standard.
Pink Panther, so cool, really cool soundtrack from like the 70s and the 80s. YouTube it if you don't know it. And the Pink Panther, is trying to outwit Inspector Clouseau. And so sometimes he's a surgeon or an astronaut or even just like a Don Juan singing love songs, but he's never truly those things. He's trying to do it so he can get one up on Inspector Clouseau, right? That's an imposter. When you sit down to give a talk or go for a job interview or speak up in class or put yourself out there to ask somebody out for a date, whatever the heck it is, and you feel imposter syndrome, you are not doing it because you're trying to hurt somebody. You're doing it because you're trying to step out of your comfort zone, right? And then syndrome, a syndrome is a collection of symptoms that we utilize or that medical professionals utilize to make a medical diagnosis. So, this idea that we call something an imposter syndrome actually makes me really cross. um, it makes me really, really cross. It means that we have an epidemic of people who are out there trying to trying to be something that they're not to hurt other people. So the next time people feel this thing and that it's chronic, like there's something wrong with you and you need to go and get medicine for this and you're not well because of it. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. So what's really, really happening when we are feeling imposter syndrome, I take it back to the F word and the C word.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. And they're not bad, but it's a fun way to remember it. Yeah. The F word is fear and the C word is comfort. So what's really happening when we're feeling imposter syndrome is we are stepping beyond our comfort zone. And the only way to live a vibrant, full, and thriving life is to step beyond your comfort zone. And the way that our brains are wired, the first thing that we feel when we step beyond our comfort zone is fear. It's inevitable. There's this bit in our brain called the basal ganglia. It's the first part of our brain that developed way back when anthropologically. It's really, really useful if a lion is chasing you. It is not altogether useful if you are sat in a job interview. It is not. Or you're trying to speak truth to power, or you're standing up to somebody who is assaulting someone on a bus verbally, right? That fear ain't all that useful, but it's there. The thing that I find really, really exciting and promising is if you can sit with the fear and just say, hi, welcome, I'm trying something, I'm being brave. When you get beyond the fear, the learning zone steps in. And if you sit with learning long enough, the growth zone sets in. So the weird thing about imposter syndrome is we have a choice when we feel it. We can decide to retract into our comfort zone, or we can say, why, hello, fear. I must be on the right track here because I'm pushing myself beyond the limits that I've set for myself. And those limits probably came from not me, but from society and a culture that is trying to tell me that I can't do something or that I'm not enough. So if we keep pushing, we start to learn. And the more we learn, the more we grow. And whatever it is, but it's in that space that your comfort zone, that's a C word, starts to expand. And when your comfort zone expands, I mean, it's a lifelong journey, right? It's exponential. What are you capable of if you spend 10, 20, 30, 90 years expanding your comfort zone?
Wow.
What are you
Huge.
capable of?
Everything. Anything. Let's go.
Everything. Yep.
And then
So what do
if
you
we're aligned at the same time with our friends and our community.
Exactly. So if you are going on this journey, and if you've got a community around you, it's a lot easier to go on this journey. If you're going on this journey, and I mean, honestly, it's skills too, right? I mean, it's not just, you don't just will yourself to do this. You've got to figure
Yeah.
out how to do it.
Yeah.
And so if you're building the skills to do that, and if you're helping other people build those skills to do it, and if the community is getting beyond their comfort zone and growing, learning and growing, I mean, that's capacity building, that's impact, and that's when we change our culture and change our systems. Individually, I don't. How about you folks? When you feel imposter syndrome, what do you do in that moment?
I don't really have much of a filter for. I don't know. I don't think about it enough. I just do it. I don't know. I think I built quite a capacity for just doing stuff. I don't know. I don't.
Just kind of feel the fear of it anyway.
I do reflect. Yeah. But I'm also a really good reflector in the sense that I will probably flop on my face in some of those situations. And I'll feel really rubbish about myself after. I have it like, I'm like, is a thing. I'm not as clued up on this sort of stuff. If post-imposter syndrome is a thing. So I'll just go, yeah, all right, yeah, let's do it. Liveathon, why not? But then I'll go, oh man, why didn't I press that button? Or why didn't I?
That's the power of hindsight, right?
Yeah,
and I think
exactly.
everybody has the power of hindsight and what they could have could have.
I wish I could say that I had like a...
Yeah. I don't really have imposter syndrome. I recognize nerves, and even having experience of like anxiety. You know, if somebody's got this and it's like, I'm really anxious, I'm like, well, try reframing it as nervous, and nervous are a completely appropriate response. Whereas anxiety is a very, very different beast for some people. So I think not minimizing the emotion, but recognizing it in terms of what you're actually about to do,
100%.
right? Anxiety comes from nowhere, and if you were diagnosed with anxiety, it's not attached to anything specific. Whereas, so if we start to use language that is inclusive, i.e., I'm nervous because I'm about to go and sing in front of 200 people, it's a normal and appropriate response.
Yeah.
For you to feel nervous, right? In fact, I feel a bit weird. I tend to, because I do sing in front of quite a few people, but I will normally either crack a joke or go, guys, I'm really nervous, my mouth's gone really dry. And then because that's me, that's who I am. And then I am who I am. So I think sometimes it's about being 100% yourself and knowing that there is nobody else like you, which is a very interesting way of kind of looking at it, I think.
I recognise it a lot in the community here, especially within those kind of early business leader, when we do these business baby showers, and it's a phrase that comes up a lot, and I think it's wonderful that, you know, the way that you've described that there and unpacked that, I think that's wonderfully helpful to the community here. So, you know, very grateful for that, Heather.
Yeah,
it's
fascinating. I've never heard imposter syndrome.
Heather would love to come and talk about that here for sure. You've got some people in here want you over here for a Wellbeing Wednesday.
But hearing you break it down, I think like that is, I've never heard imposter syndrome broken down in a way. I understand it, you know, cognitively, and I understand it's kind of made up. But actually to hear you utilize those words in the way in which you've done so to break it down has been phenomenal. Yeah, really, really clever.
Wonderful, Heather. Debs will be in touch, who's our co-chair of Wellbeing Wednesday. Once we've finished fundraising, please donate. So, Heather, because we've got to go, but I want to say something. What you're doing over at Together Culture and our alignment in the work that we're doing in terms of building social infrastructure with our communities, I think this is our year. It's finally in focus like it's never been before, I think. And I want to send from our community to yours all love, best wishes, lots of sharing this year, lots of shared practice and support for each other. You're appreciated, and thank you for sharing a moment and speaking up with us.
Likewise. Happy New Year, everybody. And the next time you feel imposter syndrome, breathe. Ask yourself, are the thoughts in my mind true? Make yourself bigger. However you can move, however you do that. Like if it's stretching out like this and shaking your hands, just make yourself feel bigger. That really helps a lot. And remember, you're not alone.
Oh, beautiful.
Love that.
Love you, Heather. Bless you.
Bye.
Go on.
Bye, bye, bye.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. I will. Yeah.